Hey everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. And today we heard from SBI Holdings. They came out with their quarterly results as they do every quarter for the shareholders. And we also have a video that goes with the 168 page presentation. I am going to put a link to the video down in the description below. Right now it's only in Japanese, but if you want to hear Mr. Kitao go off script and talk about XRP, get to the minute 51 mark and listen for a few minutes and you can hear how passionate he is about XRP. So I will just briefly go over some of the highlights of that presentation. I'm going to save some of my commentary back so I have some interesting content to talk about when I'm on Jungle Inc.'s show in regards to MoneyTap, because he really talked at great length about MoneyTap. In fact, MoneyTap had 6 pages, I think it was, in the investment slides, and so he is very, very excited about this project. In the beginning, well, first I want to just tell you, he's been on quite the presentation with various cities. On the 27th of May, he was in Tokyo, and on the 29th of May, he was in Osaka, same city that the G20 will take place. And then on June 3rd, he was in Nagoya. That's where this video was taken. On the 5th, he was in Yokohama. And on the 7th, which is today, he was down in Fukuoka. So I will, there is this slide here I really want to talk about. But first, let me just go over some of the high points. So in the beginning, he talks really about their activity in the IPOs. They're very active as being a lead underwriter in IPOs here in Japan. Also, the SBI liquidity market, it is on full expansion mode. They are growing their customer base 3 times from last year. That liquidity market is for the FX trading, and they're operating in Hong Kong and the Cayman Islands. The SBI FinTech Fund has made 67 investments, and then the SBI AI and Blockchain Fund, which is often referred to as the A&B Fund, they have 33 billion yen out in investments. And MoneyTap, I said, was very much a focus in this particular presentation. And there is an important part where Ripple is actually, if I can show you that part, let's see if I can get to it quickly. I don't know if I can do it. They are, here it is, this announcement right here, that Ripple is being considered, or it's in view, or, you know, it's kind of in a literal translation, it's kind of difficult. The literal translation is like, it's in the scope. So there is an investment from Ripple for MoneyTap's expansion. And I know it's for the international expansion because it does mention the foreign expansion of this mobile app. And so that investment from Ripple is in scope, or is being considered. Now, I don't really know if, because it's not clear, is it Ripple that is making that consideration, or is it SBI is considering to take that investment? I don't know. I'm going to lean towards Ripple is considering making that investment. But again, that is my own kind of personal guess based on what I am reading and what I heard. Okay, so here this is, and then continuing, there was a big sales pitch. It was a sales pitch for going after the institutional investors, and he cites the Fidelity report that came out that said over the next 5 years there's going to be an enormous amount of investment coming from the institutional investors for crypto assets. So Mr. Kitao was definitely in sales mode for the shareholders to, I think, be prepared for that. We already knew that was going to happen with the SBIVC trade site, because that announcement was made last week. With the digital asset ecosystem, the SBIVC trade site does not show any delay. So there's no delay shown in the presentation. There's no delay talked about in his video. So I think that is going to go into full implementation for July, at least that there isn't anything otherwise mentioned. And then he's also really going deep into the mining business, and MoneyTap again is part of that digital asset ecosystem, as well as XRP used with R3 Corda. That is a big focus. And here we are on the R3 XRP Ripple page. You can see at the top here. And I just want to just bring into focus here of how he sees the three working together. So at the top, this is finance. And then right here you have the liquidity. Can I say it like Scott? Liquidity management. And then trade finance. And over here is where it will work in terms of synergy for loans, cross-border trading, commodity trading, repo trading. I'm sorry, I have no idea what this is. Repo. I just don't know. Sorry. And bond trading. And then up here we have trade finance, and then we have derivatives trading. And of course, this is the international remittances is the expertise that Ripple has. And then I think this one says it all. This is global cash management, etc. So that gives you a really good idea as to what the focus is for Mr. Kitao and SBI Holdings moving forward. Okay, I want to change subjects a little bit because I want to look a little bit closer at MoneyGram. In fact, kind of do a little bit of a deep dive. There's a rumor, right, that Ripple acquired MoneyGram. It's a crazy rumor. It's a crazy rumor. This same rumor circulated last February. And the reason why I think it's crazy is because why would you own a horse if you can own the entire racetrack? And that's what would be happening if Ripple acquired MoneyGram. They would be acquiring one horse in a field of many. And it just doesn't make any sense. So in looking a little bit at the remittance market, let's just take a look at this graph here. This is a very good graph that will show you, and it's very current too. These are the money transfer providers for cross-border volumes in the previous 12 months. Now, you should recognize a few of these names. Here is MoneyGram here. In regards to the field, it gives you an idea of how big they are. Look at this. This is the UAE exchange. Do you remember? This is a Ripple partner now. They just did that partnership in December, and they are a significant player for cross-border volumes. And then we have RIA. RIA also is a Ripple partner. And so, why would you want to just take one of these horses and own it and then become a competitor to your existing partners? Just doesn't make sense. And if you can remember, MoneyGram was actually almost acquired by the Alibaba group called Ant Financial. They tried to do a deal that was worth about $1.2 billion. And they put the offer out there to buy MoneyGram. But Euronet, who owns RIA and XE.com just recently hinted that they are going to use XRP. They're not an official partner yet, but from what they tweeted, it looks like they too are going to roll in the Ripple technology. So Euronet in March 2017 kind of put a stick in those spokes, and they did it by also trying to acquire MoneyGram. And they hired a lobbyist to prevent the Chinese company from buying them. They made it so that it seemed very risky to allow this remittance company to go in the hands of a Chinese company. So this delay that occurred, the stock price of MoneyGram went down significantly. And then it was in January 2018 that Ant Financial backed out, terminated the deal, and said, we're out of here. And so Euronet was very happy because they stopped the deal from happening. And yeah, it's very much a very high stakes game in grabbing this market share. So when we come down and really look at what has happened to MoneyGram, they were profitable and growing in the early 2000s, and it's a business model. Its business model meant billions of dollars in a float from temporary remittent money orders and official check funds. Investing those billions provided extra income, so they were taking the money they were making and they were making investments to top the money transfer business. But by the late 2006, the company had $6 billion in its portfolio and a $32 stock price. Remember that, because that is unbelievable. So as some of the other financial service firms at that time were doing, MoneyGram was also investing in those mortgage-backed securities, including those with subprime quality. So remember the subprime loans, the credit quality was so bad and the bottom fell out. Well, they got hurt in that whole falling out of the subprime loan market. And rather than identifying and addressing the problem right away, MoneyGram's executives and its board kept stalling through 2007 while assuring investors that their portfolio remained sound. So they just didn't take care of their business like they should have. So to make matters worse, around 20% of MoneyGram's volume came via Walmart. And it wasn't a concern before 2014, but then Walmart launched the Walmart to Walmart money transfer service, leveraging RIA. So there we have RIA Money Transfer, which is now a Ripple partner and a big one at that. I'm very excited to see how this partnership develops and grows. So they are behind the scenes of that Walmart to Walmart money transfer, and the MoneyGram volumes began to drop, with quarterly revenue declining from $327 million to $286 million between Q1 of 2014 and 2015. So they started really down kind of a spiral. And if you remember, because their stock price got so low, there's a lot of people who believe that they went for the partnership with Ripple to pump their stock price back up. And you can see that this was a coordinated announcement with Ripple on the 11th of January. It says here, this is 2018, we are excited to announce our partnership with Ripple. And we've got the same announcement on the Ripple Insights, where you can see that MoneyGram will pilot the use of XRP, the native digital asset of the XRP ledger, in payment flows through XRapid and Ripple's solution for on-demand liquidity. So everybody was super excited, and rightly so. But it's been how long now? And we have just not ever received a definitive answer as to the outcome of this pilot. Are they still piloting? Are they still using it? Are they using it and not telling us? We did hear from the MoneyGram camp just in the last couple of days. It was all positive, but it's still kind of all gray. There's no real clear answer as to what is happening. So when you look at the way that Ripple and XRP can help MoneyGram, it is significant. So you can see here. So if the pilot with Ripple was successful, then the banks in all the major corridors are signed up with Ripple. MoneyGram wouldn't need to keep as much cash on hand at those various locations, assuming that the banks agree to that. So how much free cash would we be talking about? Evidently, it is up to 35 million, or 1% of MoneyGram's investment portfolio. So they've got cash that's tucked away in the retail locations. They've got it held on hand at the cash on hand at the owned retail locations, and they also have it held at the institutions. So yeah, it's coming up to 35 million. So you can see that it makes sense for them to get at least a little on track using Ripple and XRP. And I don't know, maybe they're waiting to see if Ripple can fill up those major corridors more before they sign on to Ripple. You know, we just don't know everything that's going on behind the scenes, but it does look like they need Ripple and XRP. And it just starts to go downhill from there. This is January 2019, and it looks like they're back possibly exploring another sale, and they need to be sold because they have a huge amount of debt, just a huge amount of debt that they need to restructure. They are currently valued at 877 million. That's down from 1.3 billion in 2018. They have $902 million of debt that comes due next year, and they only have 80 million left that's been undrawn on their credit line. So they might have to explore being sold again, or they might have to explore how possible it is to raise some more money. And then we have a recent figure from February 2019 that their Q4 earnings was horrible. They lost $12.5 million. And then it just, the press just gets worse. Here we have May. What is this? This is May 17th. The revenue is down 15% year over year. This is the second quarter in a row that they've missed their targets. The share price is down 74% in a year's time. Now, you could say, wow, this is a fantastic deal at the current moment with a low stock price, but they're highly leveraged. And that means that the debt to capital ratio is running about 120%. The industry average is 38%. So it shows you how risky it is. And the outlook is really remaining negative unless they have some clear solution as to what they would do. Now, if you were Ripple, what would you do? Would you help find a knight in shining armor who could come and promise to use the Ripple technology with the XRP and has deep enough pockets to do that? Would you try to talk RIA into acquiring them again on the cheap? Or is that a redundancy of business? Or would you maybe just kind of pick the ripe fruit, which is the international global remittances, leave the domestic behind and split the company in half with a partner that would also commit to use the RippleNet and XRP? I don't know. You know, I'm curious. This is a kind of critical thinking that I think is fun to do. If you have a good business plan for MoneyGram, leave it in the comment section below. So in this space, you've got companies like this. This is as of June 3rd, very recent, 2019. The London-based company World Remit was able to raise $175 million. Again, this is not their first round of funding. They have a total funding of $400 million. They are in that top 10 in regards to global transfer companies, and their target is migrants, and they're migrants that are sending money back home. So they say they are able to beat the competition because they offer very clear fees and they're very fast. And they are expected to make a profit for the first time in 2019. And they are not cash poor either. They have 175 million in the bank. So again, you see where MoneyGram is in the scope of the competition. And Western Union is still taking the lion's share of the market. Yeah, it's very, very interesting. So go back to my original thought process is, though, why would you buy a horse when you can own the racetrack? All right, everybody, I am jumping to the fluff. So Mr. Kitao, he has his TV show. It's on, I think it's on once a month or once every 2 weeks. I can't remember, but he's got an episode on tomorrow night from 6 to 6:30. And this is about the future of the country, Japan, and its evolution of technology and open innovation. He has a guest that they're going to talk about the, actually it's more leans towards the biotech of the business that he also is interested in for SBI. He does have a big biotech focus as well. So I just wanted to stick with technology, and I thought it would be really fun because I don't think I've ever shown you that Google is moving to Shibuya. Right now, their offices are very close to where SBI Holdings is in Roppongi, but they are going to move to Shibuya, my favorite part of Tokyo. And this is the building. It's almost done, not quite. This is a very recent picture. It's it's an impressive building when you see it in person, not only because of size, but because of the amount of glass and the design and the location. And it's a wow building. I think they're going to take 13 floors of this building. And by the way, when you do come here, this is the Hikarie building. On the 7th floor, there's a really good Hawaiian restaurant that serves spinach eggs Benedict that I love to go to, and I do often eat there. But it's been really fun to see this building go up in Tokyo. And when you come to Tokyo, I'm just sure you'll go to Shibuya because it's one of the places I think that everybody comes to. In fact, when you go to Shibuya, sometimes you feel like, am I really in Japan? There are, at times, going across the busiest crosswalk in all of the world. Let me show you what it looks like. I think there's more foreigners than there are Japanese, and I always laugh. I think to myself, this really isn't Japan, is it? It feels more like New York because of the diversity in people. So, yeah, can you believe, I don't know, this is really hard to get the feel of when you are walking across a street in many directions with, on the high side, 2,500 people at the same time. And it is the busiest intersection, like I said, in the world. And if you can imagine, when that light changes about every 3 minutes, that is a total of 50,000 people that move across this tiny bit of pavement every hour. It's crazy, but it's very fun, and it really gives you the pulse of the city. It's why I love it, because it makes you feel like you are alive. And I'm going to also share with you one more little tip. When you come, the 2nd floor of this building right here, this corner building, is called L'Octane French Cafe, and it has the best, trust me, the best location to take a break in a very comfortable space. This is the view that you have, and the view is overlooking the crossing, and you can have coffee or tea or lunch, and it's got a nice long window, and it's very quiet, and it's a great way to feel the city but not be in the crazy middle of it. I mean, it's fun to be both, but sometimes you need a little break from all the people and just to sit back and watch. So this is my recommendation. I'll put the name of it in the description below. Okay, everybody. Yeah, do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.